one fish, two fish. And a 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 red fish, blue fish. And a red fish, blue fish. That latency on the YouTube's a little bit larger than what's on Twitch. Anyhow, we're good. We're live. Yo, Art in the house. NCS Bond. I think I saw CS Bond. But we got Art just incessantly typing exclamation point CS. Yo, I think I saw CS in here. I don't have to do that. There it is. I saw it way back there. Knocking with the exclamation point Art. All right, you know what? I'm gonna have to ban Art if you can. What are we doing? What are we doing? Cowgirl stuff. Um, well, I want to get the outfit out of Marvelous Designer, so let's do that. We did the hat earlier this week, so we might do a little bit more work on the hat, and then I gotta start thinking about boots and bracelets at some point. We're waiting for Marvelous Designer to open. Hey, there's a new version. I'm gonna not open that one up just yet. So Marvelous Designer 2025 has proven to be usable. So I have finally started using the latest version after stopping middle of last year. Things that it broke aren't quite as broke anymore. So what are you doing? Look at Cowgirl. We're doing Cowgirl. I think I've got the dress all set up. We just have to do the trims, set up our fabrics, and then export it out twice for the Genesis 8 base, Genesis 9 base, and our Genesis 8 female friend. Is this in my recents, by the way? It is not because I was there. It is Western dress. Dale. That's right. It's the Dale Western dress. All right. Oh, and we got to arrange. I got to arrange this so it fits better into a square. Sounds like a great plan. If I fall asleep, it's because my oldness has control over our brain. Did you get enough sleep last night, Art? So we're not going to export the buttons. Let's clean this stuff up just a little bit. I'm going to put that there. It shows. Yeah, I did get enough sleep. Nice when that happens. All right, I like that there. Put the yoke down a little bit more in here. Maybe we'll bring the sleeves kind of like that. And then what I'm thinking of doing is maybe I'll work these around a little bit, kind of like that. I don't want to flip any of these upside down. So if I do stripes or anything, actually, I never do stripes like that. Actually, I'm not even going to do stripes. But if I do patterns, I at least want it to all kind of, if there's an up orientation on it, I do want them all to kind of be like that. So actually, let's move maybe you there, you up here, and you down here. Is that going to work? The idea is to get that so it sort of nudges into there. You can probably line up here. I think it's still a little on the wide side. Hey, Chris, how come when you do a render, does it sometimes go to a black screen immediately and it wants to try and say render's finished when there's nothing there? Are you inside of something? Do you have lights on? Those are the only times I tend to see that. If for some reason it isn't lighting the scene or your camera's not where you think it is. Other than that, I'm not sure. I'm just going to blame Mitch for that. I think I have a little room where I can probably take these down a bit. Maybe snug it all in a little bit further. Not your first rodeo. Everything's where it should be. It's only does this once in a while, and it ever been. I don't know. It's maybe a graphics card thing. Probably not a memory issue because you've got tons of memory, right? You're using like a 3090 or something. And besides, it would just I don't know. Do you have it set up so it falls back to CPU if it runs out of GPU or GP mem runs out of memory on the GPU? I think if you don't have it set to fall back to CPU, it might just go black. But I don't know. I just set mine to just fall back to CPU if it runs out of GPU memory. I'm not sure which way to set it right now. Trying different versions of DAS. And sometimes check that if it doesn't work. Okay. Have you been playing with the 2025? I opened it up, but my navigation tools weren't working. So I closed it. Um, I'm saying, it's going to be really difficult to work with this thing if I can't navigate around the scene. Um, I'm not sure what it was, but it could be my custom commands are getting in the way of the navigation tools. You haven't it up. Willie has and played with it a bit. With it, if they go changing things around too much, I don't know whether I'll use it or not. I mean, eventually I probably, but in this alpha state, totally not working for me. Okay, are we good with this? This is still going to be a little longer than it is wide. So maybe if we just stack that way up there. And I can just bring these in. All right, let's take a look. I'm still not used to. Let's reset this to 2D arrangement. That's kind of getting. And you know me, I don't like to mat pack these. I kind of like to leave them laid out. So if you opened it up, if you wanted to texture it in Photoshop, you stand a reasonable chance of figuring out what's what. Thinking, all right, so now we're going to start cutting up our trims. Then we're going to start doing our materials. I think let's just start with this dress front. Do that to start with. Maybe just give that a color. Oh, there's all the new colors. We'll just do obnoxious. Apply and close. Well, that's a nice new thing too. When I do this, and I can just apply colors without having to close this dialog box, which is really nice. The old days, you used to have to do this. You'd pick a color, you'd have to close it to apply it. You would have to go and just reopen it again for the next one. So that's a nice update. And we are going to have to touch this up in Blender because I do have, which means I'm going to double side the collar. And with the Rebel outfit, I was able to get away with deforcing a double-sided collar. So I'm going to try that again with this one. Let's go back. I'm not used to this yet. Go back to here. And we'll start setting up our trims. Am I cutting sewn through here yet? I am not. Let's separate the front. I'm going to call that front yoke. Then front yoke trim. Cancel that. Put a point there that I didn't need. It's now punishing me. All right, let's do this. Let's select that. Let's cut and sew. Where's my cut and sew? I got too much stuff selected. There's my problem. Cut and sew. You know what? I'm going to start setting up my... This is all going to be dress. I'm not actually going to have a seam in here. I will probably add a zone down here, I think. So we can get that somewhat shorter. So let's actually kind of set that up. Right about maybe in here so we can set up a shorter dress. I don't know. Let me just do a quick split and kind of give me an idea what I want. So I want that to be about 210. Here, we're going to just do these 2, 3, and 4 and offset internal line. Say 210. Say okay on those. Probably going to do cut and sews with that. So we're going to have dress low. We'll call that. And then we're going to have a hem. Have another hem. Have hem and hem low. We're going to have trim lows. Let's do that. Let me start thinking. All right, let's see that. This is going to be dress back. I want to separate the trims. I think I'm just going to do dress trim. Copy that. This will be dress hem. Copy that. Dress low. Hem. Copy that. This will be dress. Oops. Low he. Let's try low hem. This will just be dress low. I'll reorganize these, and we're just going to do a dress low trim. Actually, let's say dress trim low. Get this organized. Okay, dress trim low. Now I want dress trim arms, and then we're going to have dress. Actually, do I just want to call you sleeves? Dress sleeves, sleeve trim, sleeve cuff, button left, button right. And there's this attachment, and going to be collar, the yoke front, and yoke back. And then there's yoke trim. All right, where was I? Dress trim low. See that? Dress trim. Sleeves. You know what? I'm just going to call it dress trim cuffs. Dress trim yoke. Front. Dress trim yoke. Rear. Dress buttons. We'll do a right and left on those. So I can select either one of these strips individually. It'll probably come in handy later. Buttons doesn't have that many eyes in it, so let's maybe fix that. Copy that. Going to be L. This is going to be attachment. This will be the invisible strip that holds the dress closed, which we will delete later on when we do the undo version. That's coming in handy. Attachments. I need sleeves. And I didn't do the yokes yet, did I? Yoke front and yoke rear, or did I? Nope, not yet. Right. Yoke front. Yoke rear. And I need a collar still. Is that going to be it? I think that might be it. Nope, not yoke collar, just collar. I did get sleeves. I did get sleeves. All right, I think I'm ready to. All right, let's give these all a bunch of different colors. So this becomes handy. I can leave this up and I can just go along and apply, select, click, apply, select, click, apply, select, click. I think you're getting the. Oh, I didn't do you, did I? This is just so much faster than having to close and open this window all the time. Sometimes they make things better. How weird. I mean, granted, that's what they're supposed to do. That breaking an OBJ exporter was not fun. Right. Now we just need to start applying this to things. That and that. Yeah, I don't have a dress. I don't have the trims out yet, but we're getting ready for those. Wait till you break the internet. That's when you find out who your real friends are. And I don't like that color for the attachments. I'm going to change that. You tried both CPU backup and without. You tried 4 different versions, and you don't know what it is about the scene, but it's not rendering it. You don't accidentally have a dome or something in there, do you? I had that happen to me just yesterday. I loaded up a scene and didn't realize it had a dome in it, so when I went and rendered it, it was black. And you've probably checked for that, I know. You've had same Moon HDR that you use all the time and you never have trouble with it. Okay. Well, not the HDR, but sometimes older products have actually sky domes in them. I doubt that's what it is, but it's just but I did have that happen to me just yesterday. I think those are good. You know what? I could probably stand to use a little bit more differentiation on those colors. Just to help me out a bit. Make sure. Oh, I forgot the lows. Did I do the lows actually? I did do the lows. And one I need sides, and I need a rear. Side one and so dress back is. Are you my back? You look like my back. One I need back lows. Do I really want to split the front and the back? I don't think I'm going to split the front and the back. I think we're just going to leave that as dress front. I'm going to get rid of you. How do I get rid of you? Do I do that? That works. Of course, all of these need to be dress low. Obviously, I took my finger off of something when I did that. Let's try that again. Oops. Get these over here. All right, let's get the sleeves. Somewhere in here it says sleeves, trim sleeves. The dress sleeves, there we go. Okay, I should have. All right, let's do. All right, we're going to put the hems in here. I'm going to move all of those down just to make it a little easier to select stuff. Let me see if I can do all of these in one fell swoop. That would be sweet. The hem, of course, is a little thicker than what I tend to make trims. And I want one more right there. Missed. This is another program that lets you undo a selection. That's always handy. I'm going to offset as an internal line. We're going to say 25 and okay. Finally, version 2.0 is working. Oh, how weird. And there was much rejoicing. So all of that. Okay, let's nudge all of this stuff back. And let's turn, these are the low hems. I should be able to do this dress low hem. These are just the hems. Actually, I probably should call that hem. Call these short hems. I'll probably do that. We'll probably rename these things. Let's dress short hem. I don't know. No, I'm just gonna leave it like this. Never mind. What am I looking for? Dress low hem. Dress hem. And did that do... That didn't do the other side like it used to. Dang it. I used to be able to select those, and then when I changed the material, it would change over here, but that didn't do it anymore. Well, there's an extra little step. Oh, and I can't select. It's too close. It's grabbing anything but what I'm clicking on. Do this. Oops, missed again. Dress hem. And dress hem low. Low hem. All right. Let's do some trims. I'm going to trim here, here, and here. We'll do those with little 5mm trim zones on those. So let's select this, this, this. You know what? I do need a little trim zone in here. You're supposed to, you actually need to be part of that. You're going to end down there. I need to grab that. I think we'll just grab that lines up with, I don't know, I can't. Yeah, you line up with this. So let's grab this. Well, it looks like you're going to get to see a render that I'm doing with the new summer outfit. Cool. Sad thing is, if I could have used it to do a Genesis 9. Oh no. Could have gone back to one. All right, let's offset as internal line. 5. Accept that. All right, we're going to cut and sew all of that. The sad thing is, if I could have used it to do a Genesis 9, I could have went back to 1.4 and it would have worked better. What I'm trying to say is, though I've got, phone. All right, let's grab this and this. Gotten used to using 4.21, 4.15 never gave you the troubles these newer ones do. Yeah. If I wasn't making content, I would probably use an older version. I certainly would be a lot slower on moving over. This is dress trim. Do I want to merge that? I should, except I like the symmetry, so I'm not going to. I'm not going to put a seam through the middle, though. I want that, and that, and those are the low trims. Dress trim low. Okay, I got to kind of just do the same thing over here. Not working the same as it used to. I used to be able to select one, change it here, and it would change them all here to cross, but it doesn't do that anymore. Wah. Dress low, dress trim low. Using a newer version, generally an Anderson model, but I'm not happy with the one with the eyes. are dead, and it's not Genesis 9. Was she a Genesis 9? I mean, I guess you could always just swap out the eyes for a figure. But you knew that. But it's nice to just be able to drop it and not have to tweak. Dress trim. Okay, I think we're making progress. All right, we got to do the trim on the yokes. And we got to trim up the sleeves. So I'm going to put let's do a cut and sew and set up the cuffs. I'm gonna be wider than 5, but I think I'm gonna do maybe 15. Offset internal line. Let's maybe make that a little thicker, but not as thick as the hems. Say okay on that. Just do a cut and sew. And I think I've got something in here that says cuffs. There we go, dress trim cuffs. That there. Also, while I'm over here, let's do this. Offset as internal line. This is going to be a 5. This is that sleeve trim. This can sometimes be handy for adjusting D-force. I haven't been using that as much as I used to, though. Maybe I'm just getting better at D-force. Trim sleeves. There we go. Put you right there. That dropped into the right spot. Trim sleeves. There. And trim cuffs. Right there. Don't have a lot of Genesis Eye materials. It's probably the problem. We tried 2 different ones with this model, and none of them have any reflection in it. Oh, pooper scoopers. So you got to go in and fix it yourself. Is that it? Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the symmetry off on this. Remove linked editing. There we go. Do offset internal lines there, and there. Going to do those as 5s. I cut and sew those and make all of those the rear yoke trim. Not going to go through all that trouble. We played around a little bit in Photoshop. Well, there you go. That's true. You're doing it in the Photoshop anyhow, so you might as well just pop the eyes a little bit. Did I cut and sew these? I have not yet. There we go. You know what? I think, do I want to call this trim or yoke trim? I'm going to call it rear yoke trim. I have decided. Trim your rear yoke. Let's try that, and that. And dress trim yoke rear. Maybe drop that onto there. All right, we're almost there. Do I need attaches to color? So I just need to add a little bit of trim on this, I think. Offset as an internal line. Ran into eye materials before, the Genesis 3 and Genesis 8 that do this. You have certain material sets as favorites, so you can use them. And then there's just some eyes I don't want to pick up. I don't want to pick up any. Yeah, I mean, if you got some you like, you might want to just say those as just like a material file for the eyes. And you could just use those on any figures. Swap out the color maps later if you want. Save them as an action so you can always have them right at hand. cut. So those. And what am I looking for? Yoke, trim, yoke front, trim, yoke front. There it is. That drop. Did that drop? I think I'm good. I got to put these back where they came from. So let's do that. I like the way nudge usually just uh, doesn't really screw things up too bad. All right. I think I think we're good. Of course, my UV map's going to be all shot to hell with all that trimming. We got to go fix that. Actually, it didn't. Wow. Once upon a time, that used to just go to shit. There's an improvement. Back in the day, I would do these, and it would just basically re UV map these and just throw them wherever. But now when it does it, it kind of leaves them where they were. Nice. I don't have to do anything with that. I got these stupid buttons. I don't need that, but that's okay. I think I'm ready to start trying to. I can probably push these over just a little tighter into these and clean up that. We're gonna redo the UVs anyhow. Let's turn that off. So I'm looking at this. I got a little on my UV map. I got a little room here. And I think if I just nudge these in a little bit, we can fill that. Get a little bit more optimization out of this. I'm just going to maybe bring you over here. Make sure that you're not sticking out. You know what? I can probably bring these two down a little bit. And do I want to just nudge this in just because it looks a little neater? Maybe like that, so it's a little clearer where it sets up. I don't know. I mean, it was pretty clear to me anyhow, but who knows? Do that. Right, and I'm just going to nudge this one in a little bit more to this. I have a little bit of room. I could almost squeeze that in a little further. Let's see how this is going. All right, back to our UV editor. Let's reset to 2D and fit to the 1-1. Right now I'm optimizing up and down better. I think that's good. Hola, Atherine, how are you doing? No tengo pantalones. What? Hey, check out Atherine. I think I'm good. I think I'm ready to start. I should save this, and then we'll fit it over to um, Genesis 8 and the Genesis and the base figure. I haven't simulated this. Let's let the simulation relax for a little bit. And let me make sure I've got everything. Let's make sure we're using quads. All right, that's probably good. I'm down here. Where is it? Quad optimized. Everything is quad optimized. Let me just take a peek at how this is actually looking as quads. Well, let's hit save. Let's switch you over to mesh view, wireframe. Let me see if I've got any really nasty. You know, this new quad optimization is making much nicer geometry. These thin things used to get really a little weird. Not gonna lie. Kind of like that, except more extreme. I think I can live with those. thinking pretty good here. Yeah, I think I can live with that. All right, let's hit save just to make sure. And then let's all right, let's morph this to the Genesis 9 base. Then I'm going to come back and morph it to the Genesis 8. We're going to do the short Genesis 8. Although I'm not sure. I will probably need that with this dress. I think I want to set the offset a little bit further, though, to make sure that that's too close in there. We're probably set at just a standard 2.5. If I make the thickness 5, if we probably going to make it too thick. Probably should set it back to 2.5. Let's the accurate fitting took all my wrinkles out. Dang it. All right, I think I'm ready to do some exporting. Let's hit save on that. So stop the sim, hit save. Let's drop in the morph targets and do that. Dum, dum, dum. Did I not double click on G9 avatar? I did. It's just thinking about it. Jay hates the new library in this. I never really actually used it though. The only thing I use the libraries for is finding my avatars, and that still just works more or less the same. So there we go. I can't double click on that because it'll screw things up. We have to now just click on this, add to workspace, and we're going to load you as a morph target. And we're going to say yep to that. Hey, nice band there, Charles. I didn't even see that one. I guess Twitch was holding it. All right, I think that's good. We're going to export this out and we're going to call it G9 base. Yeah, there was a bot in here, but Twitch caught it. Twitch said, hey, I probably said, hey, this looks suspicious. Bro. That's right, stinking dirty bot. So let's export this. File, export, OBJ selected. We are going to go over here to the Dale Western dress whip. Let's put this Dale Western dress G9. 9. That's right. We don't serve your kind here. I think this is good. Say okay. All right, I'm not going to save this. We're just going to go back to the good version right here. I'm going to say okay. I hope that wasn't saving. Do you want to? All right, now we're going to fit this to the Genesis 8. I'm going to use my short Genesis 8. So let's do that. Let's add the workspace. load you as a morph target and say okay with that. Just patiently wait while it morphs. Okay, that's basically a Genesis 8 shape. So let's export that out. Damn it, I saved that with the buttons, didn't I? I have to redo the Genesis base. All right. I should have just delete the buttons, honestly. Uh, File, export, OBJ selected. Of course you went back to where I loaded the avatar. Instead of just being, you know, now I can't find where my things are anymore. I'm lost in space. I'm on completely on the wrong drive even. Oh, that's because I moved my stuff over to the M drive. Where's my D drive? There's the D drive. Projects, addresses. We'll get there. Dale Western dress. Whip. Let's do. This is going to be the Genesis 8 female 94.1. I say 94.1 so because I know it's the small version. All right, what I forgot to do is uncheck that thing. Because what that did is it exported out buttons and buttonholes, which I don't need. I'm going to say okay to that. 1.21 gigawatts. All right, are we done? We're done. All right, let's reload the dress. Great Scott. All right, now let's refit it back to the base. Right click. Remember, right click. I'm used to double clicking and bringing up a window, but they changed that. Add to workspace. Load as morph target. Say okay. Wait while it does its thing. All right, it has done its thing. Select all of that. File, port, OBJ selected. Overwrite that. You see the extras, the additional file size. That's buttons. Yeah, let's replace that. Let's not save any of those. Say okay to that. Should be good. Yo, Bones, how are you doing? Good to see you. Totally been stalking you on Instagram. Great stuff, man. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. All right, I'm not going to save this. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to try to save a higher res version. Let's try that. So let's do file recent. Let's get the Western dress again. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. All right, I'm going to try to up-res this. Well, actually, I'm going to save this file, export, OBJ selected. This is just going to be G9. And let me see if I can make a higher res version that might have more wrinkles in it. So I'm going to try to switch this to, so we're good here. This may just stop the program. I'm going to push the limits of my system here. Probably shouldn't do this while streaming. Where's my density, my particle density? Let's try 4. Let's do that. And it's going to complain, hey, this is pretty small. Do you want a yes? Now I'm going to patiently wait while it remeshes everything. So basically, I don't know, what is this, like 10 times the density of what we currently have? 5 times the density? Something like that. Probably closer to 5. Because we're going from 10 millimeter squares to 4 millimeter squares. But I'm hoping that'll let me get some nice wrinkles when we simulate. And then I can maybe try to do stupid normal map tricks with Substance Painter to add details. And if this doesn't work out, that's fine. Okay, so our next step after I just save this out is we're going to go into Blender. We're going to double side the collars. We're going to save those out. Then we're ready to take it over to the DAZ. Hey, we're meshing parts and we're making progress. And it's possible I won't get any additional detail in here. What I might try is, if this moves too much, I might try pinning down the cuffs collar and the hems, the hem, the bottom hem, and maybe change the material to really flexible silk and see if that gives me some details that I like. So those are a couple of things I'm going to play with, and then we're going to move on to trying to get this in the DAZ, and we still have 2 hours left, so I might be able to get something else besides the dress. Before I start stream, I'm always so optimistic. Yeah, I'm going to do the dress, and I'm going to work on the hat, and then we're going to work on the boots. And the reality is, I'm lucky if I get something done on the dress. Let's see how this goes. We have hit the simulate. Seeing if that's adding any additional wrinkly details. I'm getting some in here. I'm going to back up. And I'm getting weird action in here just because it's a little tight. All right, we're going to undo that. Does this say if I click on here? You know, it would be nice if it told me what I was going to undo, wouldn't it? I wonder if it has an undo list. Here, I'm going to pin, we're going to freeze the hems. Everybody deserves a little action when it gets tight. Dude, that is so wrong. Let's grab all you. All right, so I'm just going to freeze those. I said that? No. I'm going to grab these. Let's freeze those. And let's freeze the collar. Okay, then I'm going to add a material in here. Can I change all of these at once? That would be sweet. Can I just turn you all to that weird silk knit jersey, something like that? You know, this material list got changed. I can't find anything anymore. They renamed everything. I used to know what I was doing. Where'd the silks go? Damn it. Now I have to actually read this shit. It's gone. The I have no idea what any of this stuff does anymore because they changed the materials on me. Damn them. Damn them to hell. No search function. Yeah. Hey, Lund, how are you doing? Um, there used to be a nice silk jersey, and I don't it because it was really, really floppy, and I liked that about it. But now I'm not seeing those anymore. Am I? Am I just going blind? And it used to be, I don't know, it used to be organized different. It used to be like silk something something. Now it's like this. What is V2? Why? Why? Apparently I'm gonna have to figure out how this stuff works and make my own. Knit jersey. Let's try knit jersey. Let's see how that works. I think that's getting me some wrinkly details in here that I didn't have before. Oh, and that just got weird down there, didn't it? It got floppy, didn't it? All right, we're going to stop that. I'm going to undo. I'm actually just going to simulation properties. I'm going to turn gravity off. Let's try this again. So hopefully we get those nice wrinkles in there without it flopping. All right, I think that's going to do the trick for me. The dress got floppy. I think I'm going to go with that. I think that's so. We're going to export this out. I'm going to use it as a. I'm going to try to bake normals with substance with this. So this is the dress I'm going to use to. I'm not gonna. Am I going to save this? I better save this file. Save as. Project. This is going to be Dale Western Dress High. I'm going to save this out. Export this file. Export. OBJ selected. G9F high. Save that. Should be good. Click, turn that off. Say okay. Actually, let me check something. File. Export OBJ selected. Ah, nuts. That got saved with buttons. We can fix that. All right, let's cancel. Let's go back to the other version. Resave that. That's where I went. Gonna miss. Right there. Okay. I only have the buttons in here because they look nice. All right, we're going to resave this file. Export OBJ selected. I'm going to overwrite that one because it's got buttons. And we're going to make sure to uncheck the buttons this time. Should be good. I didn't make any changes, so let's put you away. Yo, Rex, how are you doing? Nice to see you, man. And everybody, check out Rex Red over on the YouTube. I don't have a link for you. I don't think I ever made a command. Let me see if I can find your YouTube link real quick. I'm not sure you can paste links in the YouTube. Uh, Easy 3D TV, that's it. I recognize the name. Let's do this. Let's post the link. I allow links on Twitch. I don't know if I set that up on the YouTube or not. It might not work well. I don't want YouTube accidentally banning you because I haven't got around to playing with it much. That would be annoying. Um, let's go to YouTube. Paste that in there and see if that. Nope, that is the wrong thing. Easy 3D TV or something. It should populate. No, of course it doesn't. Why would you do that? That would be too easy. There it is. I've got you on my recents. All right. Anyhow, check out our good friend Rex over on YouTube. Cool cat doing the Daz stuff. There you go. Drop a sub over there. Give a sub, give a like, the usual. I'm working on a cowgirl dress, so that's what we're doing today. We're in Marvelous Designer. We're about ready to move out. I got to do some stuff in Blender. I'm going to double side the collar, and then we're going to. My only problem with double siding the collar is I didn't leave any room on the map for it. I think I'm just going to have to move it into here. Actually, no, I can just put it down here, which is just going to look weird, but that's okay. And I just have to make sure I line that up with the two other versions we're doing. Hey, no worries. We support the friends. I don't know if it does any good, but who knows? Anyhow, activate Blender. Okay, I'm going to have to do this like 3 times in Blender because we now have 3 different versions of the dress. I may only need 2 versions, but the Genesis 8 version I might need if the version from G8 to G9 looks a little janky, even a little bit janky. I'll probably use the G9 G8 version. Activate import. Go to find our dresses. Western dresses. There we go. Whip. Let's start with the G9. Let's do that one first. Tab in. Do I got my materials in here? Yeah, baby. There we go. Let's do this. So my normal should be reversed on that. Let's double check. Where's the thing? I gotta say, I do like the way that now shows reverse normals. That is so much nicer than the way it used to do it. It used to show reverse normals, and if it was okay, it made them blue. I'm going to have to pull that collar up a little bit, but I'm going to do that later. I need a little bit more clearance between here and here. That 2.5 isn't going to do it. Anyhow, what am I doing? I am looking for, I got to spread this out so I can actually read these. Collar, I want the collar. I want to select the collar. Do I want that much of the collar? I think I do want that much of the collar. Okay. Let's go into there. Let's do crude faces along normals. Want it to come out like that a little bit. Let's come over here and see what my options are. Maybe minus 0.001. That should be a millimeter. Probably good enough. I need a little bit more than that, maybe. Maybe a millimeter and a half. Millimeter and a half. think I'm going to live with that. Okay, now I can flip these normals, right? Yep, let's do that. All right, so we're going to select that. Is it Control Shift N or is it Shift N? Nope. Uh, mesh normals flip. I forget. Recalculate outside. It was Shift N. But you didn't recalculate outside, did you? Did I assign you? Oh, you're in the wrong material zone. That's my problem. I select that. Then can we flip the normals? Except these normals are fine. In here, no, it'll be fine. Recalculate outside. Let's do that. Yeah, these got flipped. Flipping. Oh, I know what it is. It didn't become thick. That's right. I forgot the extrude does that weird thing. Let me see if I can remember how to do this and leave the back polys in here. I mean, my other option is to separate it, solidify it, and bring it back. That's starting to become a little tedious. Extrude faces along normals. I'm going to do that. Do I get an option for leaving the originals in there? I don't. I think I'm just going to have to separate this off. So we're going to separate the selection. Come into here. Separate you out. I did separate you out. Let's put a solidify on that. Oh, I can never find anything. Generate, solidify. There it is. 0.0015. Looking good. If I say even thickness, does that do anything? We're going to fill the rim. We're going to delete off a rim on the bottom here, I think, and take it and weld it back on. That's good. Let's try that. Tap in. There's an extra row of polys right down in here I want to get rid of. I'm getting rid of these two polys on the edges so that I can loop around, flex the rest of this, like, to be able to do that, and it should loop all the way around to there. Otherwise, it's going to roll around the top, and I don't want it to do that. That's going to be my collar. Let's join those back together. Tap in. Let's go into here. Let's merge by distance. Try that again. Actually, I got to select everything. Doy. There we go. And then we can merge by distance. I tend to be really, really small. That's like 1/10 of a millimeter. So that should merge these points along here and nothing else. Should be good. So that looks like it merged through. I have some weird sharps in here. Let's get rid of those. So let's clear sharps. And I think that's going to be my collar. I'm not going to move anything on this right now. We're just going to leave it like that for right now. And that's going to be the collared version for the G8F. I just have to do this a few more times. But anyhow, let's turn you off for a second. Let's bring in the next one. Let's knock the high out. Import. Now that I know what I'm doing, let's clear the sharps. Let's select the collar. Hopefully, I got materials for that. Right there. Select. Separate. Tab out. Select that. Solidify. There we go. 0.0015. Excellent. Apply that. I'm going to hide that for a second. Just easier for me to. What do I got over there? Dude, that's probably going to merge out. I wonder if I'm going to redo this. I think I might have broken something. I may have accidentally had something selected when I was doing that. We're going to re-import. Have in. Make sure I don't have anything select. Actually, select all. I'll do that later. Let's. All right. See, I did accidentally select something. I thought I was clicking off. I inadvertently. It was close enough where it made a selection. So that would have been weird. I wonder if I accidentally did that to this one too. Oh well. Say la vie. Hopefully I didn't. That one's not as important as these two aren't as important as the two versions I'm going to do after this one. All right. I am in. I want to go to face mode. I want to break that off. Out. Select this. Hide that. Apply the solidify. Generate. I love the way they added an extra click a couple years ago for that. Yay. It still takes me forever to find anything with that. All right, looks good. Apply. Tab in. We're going to kind of just do the same thing we did. Pull off delete a couple of those. That and that. Doesn't look like, that looks like it was thicker than. This is a baking model. I'm hopefully it doesn't make that big of a difference. Delete those. All right. Get back in here. Let's join those together. Tab. Vertices. Select all and merge by distance. Should be good. Oh, and let's get rid of the sharps. All right, that one's done. Moving right along. You know, the names are all janked up anyhow. I was thinking I didn't want to do this because Blender's going to jank up the names, but I've got such janked up names for my surfaces anyhow. Doesn't make a difference. These all need to be cleaned up. Because we got all of this extra Marvel's Designer crap here that I got to clean off in DAZ. Tab in here, make sure I don't have anything selected. Get the collar, separate the collar out, select that. Over here, we just have to do this 2 more times. 0.0015. Should be good. Let's apply that. Let's join those. Actually, before I join that, I forgot I gotta clean out the this bottom edge. I do think I did make the other one too thick. I might have to redo that. All right. Now select that. Let's try that again. Control J. I am still in edit mode. That's my problem. That's better. All right. Is good. Oh, clear the sharps since I'm here. Oh, and I should UV map this when I get done. I'll have to set those up later. That's me thinking out loud. Um, let's do this. Seams from Islands. What I do want to do is try this. Select that, and let's do it. That. Are you? You know what? I might be able to get away with this. I'm probably going to get some weirdness right on these edges. Might be so narrow you might not even notice. Maybe I won't even touch that up. We'll see. I might fix this later. I think for right now I'm going to try to see if I can just get away with that. All right, so let's do the last one and move along. I'm going to think about remapping the collars. I might want to flip some of this, but I'm not sure. All right, we got one more to do. Import. This is the Genesis 8 version. This is the small Genesis 8 version. Hide you. Tap into here. I got nothing selected. Color. Separate. Tap out. Hide that. And add the modifier, right? We knew that. Solidify. 0.0015. Looks good. Let's apply that. Tab in. Oh, I know why those looked thick. It's because the mesh was denser. I'm probably good. I think that's fine. An A, merge by distance. Should be good. That look denser than this. Probably not. I'm probably just losing it. Yeah, I'm just losing it. I think this is fine. I think we're good. So ideally, I should have the same vertex order and number of vertexes on all of these because I did them more pretty much the same. All right, let's save this stuff out and maybe get one or two into DAS. And maybe set it up for texturing. Did I get colors with these? I did not. I'm going to have to recolor. And the brain has stopped. That's the G. Okay, so let's export that out. Let me just make sure everything is shade smoothed. And hit my export button. And let's come over here. And here, let me set up another folder so I can keep better track of this. I'm going to call these final. No, As ready. We'll do that. This is Dale Western Press G8F 94.1. Set my operator to as, so just the selected. I think that's good. All right, hide you. All right, let's do the G9. G9, those are the ones that go to DAS. This is the one that's going to go to substance, so I got to give my materials colors. Let's get in here and let's just quickly roll through and start assigning. Have a great day at work. Oh, Rex took off? Damn it, I missed it. Oh, off to work. Hey, take care, Rex. Sorry about that. Oh, he said that a long time ago, too. Dang it. No. I am. I'm the worst. The bratwurst. Oh, so many materials. Why do I do this to myself? It helps later on actually in the process. I think I got a couple more to go.
Chris, pay attention.
What? Art was going to take a map. Is that it? Remembered I had to format a 2012 MacBook Pro for Snow Bunny students for the snow. Oh, for one of the Snow Bunny students. All right, I think I'm good. I think we're going to do that. I want the color to be a slightly different color though. All right, I think we're going to try to use this one for substance. So let's export that. File, export. We're going to do this twice. So I'm going to put this into my substance folder. Hey, I have a substance folder. Look at that. I'm going to call you IDs. Export you. Now we're going to do this again. No materials. Going to be the no material version. And then we're going to put out the high version. That's going to be high. I only want to use that to make a high-res normal map. Get a little more detail. He's a philanthropist like that. He sponsors underprivileged children with schooling. Had a request for a MacBook since I got it for $50 off of Craigslist. It's best if I reformat it. Probably, yes. Good idea. Because you know that thing's probably stinking with stuff you don't want. All right, I think I'm good. I'm going to save this so I can come back to it. File save as. Let's put you in here and here. Dale Western dresses. Let's do that. All right, let's try to get this into Daz now. It's been oh so long since I've done anything Mac. So you're pushing much of the brain. Ouch. Yeah. I can't remember the last time I touched a Mac. Did I not click on the Start Daz button? There it is. All right, looking good. Let's get a Genesis 8, Genesis 9 in here. Have I set up a folder? I did set up a folder for this, didn't I? Right there, Dale Western Dress. People, G9. I think we saved the hat out. Yippee-ki-yay. All right, let's get the dress in here and set that, do the basics for rigging that. And let me move this so I can actually see chat while I work, just in case somebody actually says something. Put you over here. You know what? I'm going to move you. Where's my little thing that lets me side to side? There it is. Give myself a little more room in here. And a little here. All right, are you my import? Yep. Here. Out here, into here. That's ready. 9. Open that up. Looking good. Let's I'm going to do a quick test. I'm going to see if the G8 version matches this or not. Easy way is just to load it as a morph target. Do that just to make sure. Fingers crossed that everything lines up on that. It should, but you never know. Um, nope, over here. Whip. It's ready. Ooh, it loaded successfully. Optimistic. See if the scrambles or not. The color scrambled a bit. Damn it. My vertex order got off in the color. All right, so that's not gonna. I may be able to recover some of this. Anyhow, we're not going to save that. It just means I've got some extra steps I might need to do. I did it in more or less the same order. Maybe the deletion order changed or something. So it ended up not being the same. I don't. It's so finicky. Anyhow, let's transfer that. Select an item. Genesis 9. Select another item. G9 dress. I'm gonna do this as just the. Is that a long tight dress or a long? Let's try long loose. I got a little bit of looseness down here. Accept that. Do its magic. Okay, we're going to clean up all these names here. I don't think I can load in the What am I doing? I'm cleaning up the names. We're going to the tool settings down in here. Get all that extra garbage. Bye-bye garbage. And it's just this little TDM of getting rid of this stuff that Marvel's design said, hey, this is important. I'm going to shit on your material name here for you, okay? Yeah, thank you, Marvel's designer. At least this is better than saying everything material, yada, 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 which is what it was doing earlier in the year. That is totally useless. I think it's even got this, the material names aren't getting jumbled anymore. What it was doing is dress sleeve would end up being somewhere where it wasn't when I exported it, but I think they fixed that. That's nice. Still wish it wouldn't do this. I wish there was a little switch that said, hey, this has something to do with, I'm sure, the internal names. Of course, now when you copy, it doesn't save the same name. It now says copy in Marvel's Designer. When you used to copy a material, Marvel's Designer just gave it the exact same name as what you copied it from. But it doesn't do that anymore. It now just says copy. Oops. We deleted an R off the end of that. All right, I think I'm good. Let's select all of those. Let's put our base shader on that. All right, let's put the D-force on there. Let's add over here to the basic D-force thing where I just changed the bend stiffness to 0.1. It's good. We will tweak the rest of these later. Let's do a quick D-force check and see if I'm going to cry or not. Did not explode, did not vanish. I might be able to get away with that double-sided collar. We'll see how that works out. Send in the tears. Oh, yeah, happy joy. Look at that. It did not break. All right, let's clear the simulation. All right, let's put a couple more things in here. I need to go to the scene tab. And we're going to just do our couple of geometry. Convert to sub D. Edit geometry. Add the smoothing modifier. Geometry. You know what? I'm just going to throw push on here right now. And we're going to just call you inflate. Did I spell inflate right? Inflate. I think that's it. Go Shift F because I don't need it like that. All right, I think this is. We do have to add a lot of buttons on here eventually. We'll do that later in the week. So this is the basic ready to save, and then I'll come back and we'll start working on it more later. So in this case, I'm probably going to just rig from, but we'll see how this goes. Let's try this. What am I doing? I'm saving the figure prop asset. There we go. Not there. Over here. Dale, where are you? There you are. People, Genesis 9, clothing, and G9 outfit. Let's do this. DW Dale Western out dress. Dress G9. You are going to be the Dale Western product. That looks good. I wonder if I actually need to keep clicking on this. Does this actually do anything? I'm starting to have my wonders. I've always been doing this. Now I'm wondering if I've just been wasting my time. let's see how this looks on the. So let's switch over to that light mode. And let's. I'm going to see how it's looking on base feminine. If I've really got to do much to that. You know what? That looks okay. Did I put my high? Did I subdivide? Did I lose that? Yeah, my mesh resolution switched back. Did I save it with that mesh resolution? Control Shift F. Went back to base. Okay, let's switch you to high. My mesh offset. Let's move you into a spot that makes more sense. Put you into actor adjustment. And I'm going to change these colors. My standard adjustment colors. Take a look at this. And did I get my see, there's the loosening morphs with all their janky ass names. We will fix that. Probably not right now. I'm probably going to leave it like that for now. I think I want to memorize this and we'll resave it though. You know what? Since I'm here, let's clean these up. Nope, not that one. This one here. If I change that one, it'll make another copy of it. It saves as a data folder to the data files. And then it'll load in the bad one and the new one. But we don't want that. So change all of this stuff to nice user-facing names. Space it out a little and get rid of that body underscore BS. You know what? I missed there. Let's try that again. Space there. Not a space there. So these are the automatic adjustment morphs that get loaded in. All right, 4 more to go. Three more to go. I'm probably not going to bother to do this for the Genesis 8 version today. I'll do it off stream. We're going to work a little bit more on the hat, do some more textures, and what do you call those? Conches or whatever? Little silver things that'll run along the headband. Something like that. And I need new glasses. maybe I'll buy myself a eye exam for my birthday. And new lenses. I got a couple of frames. And an extra pair of frames I can use to put the new glasses in. I mean, granted, they're from the yachts, but I'm not a style maven, so who cares? I think those are good. I'm going to save these out as morphs just in case. Oh, and I'm going to cancel that. Let's just make sure all of these have limits set on them. I'm going to pop into edit mode. I'm going to grab all of this stuff here. I'm going to make sure that I have enabled limits on all of that. Is good. Now I'm going to just resave all the morphs this way, just in case they get lost when I resave the dress. Sometimes it'll do that. And then I'm just going to resave the dress, and we should be. I got to memorize the dress in this configuration. That memorize figure. Now we're just going to resave. What have I got selected? I have the right thing selected. Okay. Resave you over that. Save. Yes, you know what? I'm just going to accept that. All right. We've got the start of the Genesis 9 version. Let's see if we can slack out the Genesis 8 version really fast. Let's get a Genesis 8 in here. I'm just going to do an auto transfer and see what that looks like. Because of the way I'm playing with the color today, though, didn't work out. I would use the G8 version, but that's not going to work today. Also, that means that all my morphs I'm going to have to do twice. Sometimes I can save time by using the same like on the ground morphs on the Genesis 8 version as the Genesis 9, but I don't think that's going to work with the way I did the collar here. And I really did want to double side that collar just because of the way it I've tried single sided collars and they look a little weird. All right, let's try this. Back to the content library. It's just gonna whine. Hey, you're not the right dress. Try. Yeah, let's see. Where's the one that says G9? There's the G9. Just say knee length template on that. Accept that and see how this looks. You appreciate the work put in for both Genesis 8 and Genesis 9. I can't see who said that though. As is in the way. Oh, Napsmore. I think that makes a difference on the sales, to tell you the truth. So it is worth it. See, I'm getting a little bit of weirdness, I think, through here. That sucked up pretty tight too. Let me see if I can swap this out for the mesh. Yeah, because let's take a look at this. See, that there isn't nice and even. I really don't want to just go with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the G8 mesh, and then I'm going to try to do this. I will have to probably redo a lot of stuff. And it also means that when I start making morphs, I can't just share them between G8 and G9. But I don't share that many morphs, so. And I still think, let me just check and make sure I haven't broken UVs. That's always sad when you get halfway through a project and you're going, oh my God, my UVs are trash. No. Uh, you know what? That looks about what it's supposed to, right? I think we're good. Let's check. So here, let's try this. I'm going to load in the Genesis 8 version. I'm going to use the transfer tool to put it onto this one here. And see if I pick up all those morphs. So this has got some cool morphs in here from the G9 version. That's the reason why I like doing it this way. So if I can get these morphs to kind of move over when we transfer, it would be kind of nice. Let's see how that works out. Import. This one here. Yeah, I gotta change the scaling because that dress is scaled small. So I got to, instead of 10,000, this is going to be 10,006. 29.9, 29.9. Accept that. There we go. Make mostly structures so the UVs are relatively simple. Yeah, that when I do structures, I tend to just, I'm lazy sometimes and I'll just smart map. But with a dress, I like to kind of have it laid out a little nicer. All right, let's see how this works. So I'm going to transfer this to this dress. And then we're going to, and I want to see if that picks up the morphs nicely or not. So let's do that. Transfer tool. I'm going to use the Western Dress G9. I'm going to use the Western Dress G8F. I'm not going to have a template. Let's accept that. Let me see if my morphs come over. Did you get done already? You already got done. Here, did you bring in the morphs? I did not see the morphs come over. Let's try that again. Yeah, that's a shame. That would be nice to get those. Let's try. Am I in the right thing? I am. I got the right thing selected. I think I do. All right, let's try version 2. See how this goes. I'm going to try to retransform this from this. Let's say generate options, morph targets. Does that mean it keeps the morph targets? If I do this, replace with target. If I click that off, I'm experimenting now. Oh, that totally did not work. All right, we're not going to do it that way. Let's try this. I'm going to do this 2 more times. I might just rig it from scratch, which might be just the best way to do this. I'm going to try this one more time with another option. And then I'm just going to rig the G8 version, I think, is what I'm going to probably end up doing. Do this, bring that. Beautiful Daz remembers my scaling. Have to do that. Transfer that. I'm going to do it with this. Let me do the replace. This time I'm going to leave that checked. I have a sneaking suspicion it might go janky anyhow. Hit accept on that. Yeah, that's just not going to work. Okay, we're not going to do it that way. We're just going to import in our dress and just rig it up normally. Right, activate the transfer tool. It's going to come from here, here. The knee length dress. I should try some of these sickle yield templates. I wonder what they generate. Sickle yield 404. Let's not try that sickle big dress template. Let me experiment with this. I may end up doing this a couple more times. All right, let me take a look at what that did. I think this adds weird body parts in the yeah, I don't really want these body parts that it adds. Probably not going to use that. So I can just rerun the transfer tool and redo it. So we're going to do that. You know what? I'm just going to do this the normal way. I'll just say knee length and accept that. I like to get those loosen morphs from the Genesis 9 into the Genesis 8, but it's not a deal breaker. I had so many adjustments anyhow. They're almost redundant. Okay, okay, that is done. Unfortunately, I now have to clean up all the surface names again. That was one of the ways the stealing it from G9 helps save time, but we're not doing that today. So, all right, here we go. Fun with tedium. And it is 3 o'clock. I'm actually not in a bad place. We're almost getting this one set up. 3 days later, cleaning up the names. Do love my material zones. My multiple surfaces. This wasn't nearly as crazy as that one swimsuit. The synth swim. I think I had like 80 surfaces in that. More than 80, close to 90. I went a little crazy on the front and the back. Every little stripe on the front and the back is a separate surface. Couldn't make up my mind which way to group that, so I just made them all separate. I did not torture you all by making you watch me do that on stream. All right, let me take a look here. Let's see, I still have a couple. Just a tad, that's why it came out great. Gives you the flexibility. I don't know if anybody really uses the flexibility like that. I do. Honest, in a way, it makes it easier for me to make the clothes. Taking the time to set up all that extra stuff. So then I don't have to think, you know what, if I only was able to make this stripe a separate. We're good. All right, this is good. All right, let's put our D-force modifier on here. Let's come down here. Let's change the bend stiffness to 0.1. Let's just run the sim and make sure I'm not going to cry. We are not crying. Huzzah, and there's much rejoicing. It does, and that's the reason why I do it. This has a little less flexibility. I still have a couple an extra zone down here to make the skirt shorter, because I know Charles likes that, and you know we got to make Charles happy. What is that? Do I have some? Well, you know, that's just a weird selection thing. Let me just make sure our geometry selection, your selection should be good. Okay. All right. D-force is done. We've cleaned up the material names. Come back over here. We're going to add our smoothing modifier. We'll up the. Let's add the smoothing modifier. Edit geometry. Add smoothing modifier. What I do need to do is I'll pop this in the blender later. I want to raise that collar up just a bit up higher off of that. Keep trying to guess Jax when he's streaming. He tends to stream at nights. I don't know. I think is Thursday his day stream, and then he tends to be nights. Except last week, I think he did an early European stream. Was that what we saw? Keeps you guessing. Word of the day. Right. Word of the day. Oh, the word of the day. Keep trying to. Got it. I missed. Am I? Is this ready? I think this is ready to be saved. Uh, let's change this name over here. I no longer have to say this stuff because we've scaled it up. And actually, let's say female. That's what the Daz likes. And I'm ready to save this out. So let's do that. Take your prop asset. I'm going to come over here to the Genesis 8. Clothing, me, Dale. I don't have a name for this yet. So Dale Western dress. So this is DW Dale Western dress G8 female. Let's put the L in the ALE. There we go. A product. Dale Western. You know what? I'm going to stop doing that. Wardrobe. Let's switch you to dress. And let's accept that. Okay. Hey, thanks, Art. All right, let's tweak. Let's do a little more work on the hat. We'll add some more textures. We'll add some decorations. I'm going shopping. Cowgirl hat. Let's see what Google gives me for that. Ooh, I like that. I'm not seeing cowgirl hat porn, so I think we're safe. I want something kind of like this. Is what I'm thinking. So I'm going to make a little round thing, and I think I'm just going to run that around the hat bin. And I think we'll do that. Although, putting a longhorn on there too would be kind of cool. So let's do that. All right, we're gonna do some blendering. You're the Dale Western dress. Let's go open up the cowboy hat. Is that in here? Cowboy hat blend. Yeah, so I'm gonna make a little thing, and then we're just gonna band it around the brim a little bit. We'll add that into here. If I have extra room, we'll look at all that extra room. So when I UV map this, I can stick it over here. And then I can update the hat in Substance. And we can texture that at the same time. I got a bunch of extra room here. So let's do. I'm going to start with a circle. I'm going to do 12 parts, but I want to do 3 things. So I'm going to do 36. Let's try, and let's just hide that for right now. And Shift A, dash circle. I want to do 36. I'm going to start with that. Where is my circle? Oh, you're up there. Where's my 3D? It's going to undo that. There's a way to reset the 3D cursor, and Chris can never remember what that is. Is it Shift C or something like that? Nope. Alt C, Control Shift C, Control C. Oh, I think it went. What point did I put it back? Anyhow, let's do this. Shift A, Circle 36 is good. Let's tap in. Let's fill this. And just to do that, I'm going to scale it down. Can I just do a extrude? I'm going the wrong way though. You know what? Let's do an inset. Let's go that way. And I'll do another little inset, and eventually I'm going to put a little shape in there. I'm going to use this to. I need to rotate that degrees. RZ5 like that. And then what I want to do is grab every third one of these. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. There we go. We need Charles, pay attention command. What happened now? Don't bother, Charles. Dude. All right, we're gonna scale those out. I got a sneaky thing I'm gonna do with this. Actually, you know what? I want to pull these in here. Can't see my cursor. There it is. I want that. And we're just going to do the same thing. I'm going to click on every third one. And then we're going to just scale those in a little bit. So now I have these. I'm paying in between fighting to keep your eyes open. There you go. See, Charles has been summoned. Sorry, Charles, you can go back to sleep. So I'm doing stupid blender tricks. I'm going to do this 2 times. I'm going to do basically an inset. Do I have a number for that? 0.001. Try 0.01. Try something 0.002. 0.003. I'm typing in a number because I want to remember this. I'm going to assign materials here because it's going to come in handy. And what do you call these things anyhow? Are they conches or are they something else? Here's our shopping page. Does this say what these are? Silver tone metal band. It just calls it a metal band. Hey, Matthias, how are you doing? Nice cowgirl head. Yeah. We're working on the cowgirl outfit. We do have a hat here somewhere, but it's not fitted to G8 yet. We'll fit it to G8 eventually. It currently is fitted, but we're now working on adding decoration to the hat. That's what we're doing right here. The middle is a turquoise stone. Yeah, I'm going to set that up. Actually, I'm going to set it up so we can put stones on these too. Or we could just make them metal. I don't know. You know what? I'm just going to call you metal. Metal. You know, do I want to do separate metals? I'm going to do 2 metals, 2 gems. So this will be metal 01. I'll put an underscore in there because Blender's going to add it anyhow. Okay, so now we're going to make, this is going to be gem. I'm going to do this, going to do that. It will be gem 02, 01. And I'm going to sign that. Give it a color so you can see what we're doing. Yay, and then I'm going to do the same thing with these. Now that I'm assigning materials, it also makes them easier to select. That's the real reason we're doing this. What did we do? 0.003? Yep. Sign those. Excellent. You know what? I'm going to give this a little bit of... I just do this. There we go. And actually, if I do this... I don't want to see the backside of this, I don't think. But I am going to do that. I think that's as far as we're going to go. So now we're back to the center. I'm going to add a little... we're totally not going to leave that as an end gun. I'm going to add a little bit of a thing there. And I'm going to put the other gem right there. That's going to be metal 02. Sign that. Color it so I can make sure that, and then we can select the center. That's going to be my other gemstone. We're going to pull that out of there. What am I doing? Gemstone, right? Gem 02. Sign that. Get that an obnoxious color that we can refer to later. Do this. Is good. I think I want to grid fill that. I think I'm just going to have tries in the middle here. I'm on the wrong. There we go. So we're going to, let's do this. I'm just going to merge those at the center. And I'm just going to pull that up just a inch. Just like that. Should be good. I'm going to mark a seam there. Now that I think about it. Okay, so we're going to select those. Pull them up. I'm going to scale these, but we're going to scale them on their own individual centers. I'm going to bring those in a little bit like that. And then can I think I'm just going to have to, oh, that's not selecting all the way around. Dang it. I want to bevel these just a hair. Fortunately, it means I got to kind of do this. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 4. 2. Stop counting out loud. Thank God I can undo selections. I wish I could do that in PowerPoint. All right, I think that's good. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of a break on that one, like that. We're gonna expand that out and assign all of that to gem 1. All right, we're getting there. I may just stretch this out a little bit too. And we're totally going to put a subdivision modifier on that. Anyhow, I want to add a little more detail right in here. So, you know what? I think I'm just going to do an inset. Going to bring that up. Going to select these edges and bevel them out a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to maybe. Yeah, it's probably going to be good. How are you looking if I subdivide you now? Boom, boom. Yeah, I'm going to try to crease these corners in here. See if we can hold their shape a little bit better. I just grab that one. I'm just going to do one and do the others. Crease that. That could be better. So do I have to grab that, and this, then crease it? Yeah, that does what I want. Okay, so I have to grab 3 of these. Let's turn that off so it's a little easier to see. And I'm going to do the good old X-ray. Maybe I can click through so I can maybe grab that. Nope, that, and that. I probably should crease these all instead of trying to select them all together. This is just going to be fidgety, finicky. I don't know, something like that. I grabbed the wrong one there. I'm going to blame Mitch. Couldn't be my fault. I never make mistakes. Ah! All right, getting there. That's right, exclamation point Mitch. All right, how are we looking with this? Yep, that's kind of what I've wanted. Um, and I think I just want to add a little, maybe a little node over here. Let me try something. Where's my thing that's select? I need to be in edit mode. And can I do that? Bring you up a little bit more. I like that a little bit better. I may just make these silver. So I'm thinking silver, and then we'll do the turquoise in the middle. Although I do have the option to make these cool looking little gem things too. And I'm going to add a little link over here. Then we're going to take that and array it around a curve, put on the hat. let's tab in here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to steal that. Pull it out a little bit. Extrude. That way. Maybe that way. Let's crease all of that up. Flatten that up. Do that. I'm going to set that right in here. Should be good. Then, all right, let's array this around the hat. It's still way too big. So I'm going to pull, dang it, the Control C again. Nope, Shift C. No, Shift C worked. Okay. Now I got to get back in here. Okay, we're going to steal part of that hat and make a curve out of it. I think I'm going to steal the top of the hat, the headband. Just coming in here, we're just going to do that and Shift D that. Separate. Hoping I did that right. Always sad when you screw something up like that. Convert you to a curve. And let's tab in and select all and make you guys all Bezier. And you know what? You're looking all nice and smooth. Excellent. So now let me see if I can remember how to do this. That is way too big. I want it to go the... Did I separate that out? What the hell? Why is this? Oh, I'm on origin still. That's right. I'm going to do that. And actually, did I go the right way? I think I did. Now let me see if I can remember how to do this. This is still too big, but we're going to start with this. I think we put an array modifier on here. I'm going to adjust that array modifier so it... Oh, you're a little off. Oh, I think I rotated it just a hair. So, tab. Are you up and down? You're not even up and down straight, are you? All transforms. You off just a hair. You are still off just a hair. All right, that's good. Now we're just going to tweak 0.98 just so we get a little bit of overlap in there. You've been hurling down an inexpensive version of the SS United States. You've been hunting down an inexpensive version, contemplating merging somehow as is Titanic and their Andrea, taking 2 stacks and creating 4 screws and the rest of the hull from the Titanic. Wow, that's a project. Just got recently hauled down to Florida, didn't it? I'm not sure. I think, was it in Jersey? That's going to be good. Now, what do? We put a curve modifier on here. Is that how this works? It's a deform. It's a curve. It's a that thing there. And then we kind of adjust our. Where's my curve? It's up there. My object's not centered right. I thought I fixed that. But you know what? The curve probably should need to be centered. Shift A, all transforms. You're probably in the wrong spot. Shift A, all transforms. There we go. All right, so that's the start of it. Although I wish it had started over there. A group from New York halted that, contacting the government to prevent it from becoming a reef and getting preserved as a national monument. How old am I? I'm in my 60s. How old are you? And don't say 12. I think this is good. We're going to tweak the sizing of this to have it fit the hat band now. Let's get the cowboy hat back in here. And we're going to make that a little bit smaller. Tab. I'm just going to scale this without looking at it. I should probably look at it. Is that right? I want it to be smaller still. Is that good? I think that's going to work. I think maybe just a hair bigger. Now that I think about it. Still using technology, your family at the 50s. Leave these stuff. I don't know. I've always been into technology, I suppose. You're 21. Okay. You do 3D art or any art? And are you on? You're over on YouTube. So I would say post a link, but I'm not sure if YouTube will ban you or not. But if there's a way you can share a link without making it a link, you could. If you do that, feel free. Also, I got a Discord. If you want to drop a link in a Discord, or if you're doing stuff, and you don't have to, don't worry about it. But nice to see you. I'm still. Why are you not a scale a little bit larger? And you know what? I think maybe a touch larger than that. You don't really do art. You have zero skills in computers. Oh, okay. No worries. All right, I'm going to move that up just a little bit. DY. So it sets off the hat a little bit more. I want that to be scaled a little bit larger. So this is part of a cowboy outfit I'm making. Cowgirl outfit, technically. Tab out. So right now I'm adding decoration to the cowboy hat. And we're actually working in Daz Studio. This hat will eventually be going on top of this character here. Where's my... I'm going to put that little decoration along there. We have this nice little dress she's going to wear. And at some point, we're going to make boots. And probably bracelets. And you know what? I'm probably going to make a bracelet. Going to use this thing. So I'm also going to turn this into a bracelet, I think. So that's the plan. So let's get this so it goes all the way around. There's a way to do this. Let me see if I can remember how it works. I think in the array modifier, I can do a fit curve, maybe not fit length. You know what? I'm just going to count it out. Actually, do I have to, if I say fit curve, do I have to pick a curve? I have to pick a curve, right? There we go. Now I just need to tweak the scale just a little bit to get that to fit better. So I think we're just going to try to make this a little bit smaller. Tab in, and then scale 0.95, tab back out. I don't know if that worked. Can't see what I'm doing. Scale 0.95. I don't think that's doing anything. Right in here. Doesn't look like it's changing on there. Why is that? There we go. Oh, now it's almost overlapping itself. So maybe just a little bit bigger. Now I've gone to the wrong program. Let's try this again. Oh, now I've gone too big. I'm real close. I need to go a little larger maybe. I'm so close. I can almost smell it. I'm not sure if I need to go smaller or larger. I think maybe I want to say a touch smaller. I know this is really fiddly. You know what? I'm going to call that good. I'm happy-ish with that. I think I'm going to call that good. Let me UV map this thing though before I forget. So let's pop over the UV editing. Select. Where am I? Nope. Tab in a. Nope, that's the hat. Oh, where's my thing? Alt circle. There we go. Tab A. There we go. You know what? I'm going to do this in parts. Or do I want to just... What if I just UV map it like that? What happens? You got stretched out a little bit. See if we can fix that and do better. I mean, I could always UV from view. I'll try that, and I'm going to pin and then do a little bit more work. View. Where's the one that says project from view? There it is. Probably good. Control L. Dang it. Arg. Arg. And you know what? I'm going to smart project that. that over there. And I'm going to do a little bit more. I'm going to expand. Maybe there. And all of that. Control L. UV. This. I think that's going to be good. Actually, maybe I'm going to spread this out just a little bit. So let's live wrap that. Did I hit the P key? So we'll do a live. I'm just going to scale. That did not. Did I not? I thought I clicked on that. I did. There we go. I can just spread that out a little bit like that. I think we're good. Let's scale this to those. And then let's just pack everything. Let's unpin. Is it Control P? I forget. Unpin, Alt P. Pack. And we are good. I'm going to be happy with that. Back to here. I'm going to export that out, and then we can attach it to our hat and save that out as the, I don't know, hat flare. We like the term flare. Yeah, let's do that. Activate export. Dale Western hat flare. Try it this way. Maybe one of these days I'll turn that cap lock off. Are we good? I think I'm good. Oops. Wait, double check. That was the wrong button. I did not have the, there we go. All right, now we're good. All right, in DAS, it's the Control E. You know what? Let's import. Hat flare. Where did I save hat? It's probably in whip, right? Hat flare. That. Oops. I have to reset my. I'm still bringing it in at a weird scale. Let's fix that. Still bringing in at like 10,600 something. We would just want 10,000. All right, is good. I'm going to save you as a figure prop asset. Let's parent you to the hat first. I don't know if that makes a difference. Let's apply our generic shaders to that. Let's check our surfaces, make sure nothing funny happened. Looks good. Got my generic shader on there. I might tweak that in substance. Or we might just texture it without substance. I might just put a silver on here. I probably should do it in substance. It probably come out better that way. Anywho, let's save you as a figure prop asset, and we're going to put you over here with the Genesis 9 for right now. You're going to be Western Hat, the Player G9. Make sure you go into the Dale content. You're just a prop. I think that'll be fine. And accept that. Let's pop over into Substance Painter and quickly give that a color. Actually, did this have color when I exported it? I think it did. It did, or at least it should. We're going to export it again. No materials. And I'm going to just put you over into here. Yep. Okay. Now let's get Substance Painter launched up and going. See if we can make it look like it's a turquoise in the middle, silver on the outside. And I'm going to make it small. We'll save it on like a 1K map. I think that'll be more than enough for this. Blue substance painter. All right. Did I do you twice? No, my own strength. File, new, select, not there, over here, in here, right there, want this one right here. There we are. Oh, we got to resave that because it's not smooth. Wrong thing. Again. There, that's better. That's what I wanted it to look like. Let's bake. Baking the mesh maps. Where is the, you know what? I'll just hit bake textures. Let's see how this goes. If I have to touch it up or not. It'll be fine. All right, let's do the ID map. You got colors on you, don't you? You do. Excellent. No, 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 yes, no, no. Bake. Perfect. Okay. Paint. I think for right now, I'm just going to, well, let's do golden red and we'll do a silver and turquoise. I think for turquoise, I don't think I have a turquoise material in here. I think I'm going to take a marble probably and recolor it, look kind of turquoisey. But first, let's get the silver out of the way. Drop that on there. You know what? Since we're at it, let me just grab a gold. What do you look like? I don't like that. Yeah, and we'll do that for the gold. I'm going to hide the gold for right now. How do you spell turquoise? Hello, Google. Turquoise. There we go. Probably not. Nope. Let's see if it's in the asset library. Nope. So I think I'm going to adjust a marble to be a turquoise. Did I spell marble right? I think I did. Let me see what I've got already downloaded for marbles. Try spelling marble like that. You know what? That might make it good. And then I'm going to Google turquoise. And then what we're going to do is we're going to color sample this with the marble. Hopefully that looks kind of like turquoise when we get done. So I'm going to slide that to screen 2 where I can color sample. What do we got with our options for marbles here? Base dark green, just one color variation, noise, light spots. Marble veins. Okay, there we go. That's what we're going to do. All right, we're just going to start with this. Make that like turquoisey. Leave that alone. I think light spots. I don't even know. I think I really need the light spots. We do kind of want to change the color of the marble veins. Why am I not getting an option for that? I don't even have a color for this thing. What is this thing doing? I guess I can do that. I don't know if I'm going to live with this one or not. So we might try another marble and see if that gives me more of what I'm looking for. That's not exactly what I wanted to do. Also, I got some bleeding in. Do little tweaks here. Take the height map. How about the normal map? Are you doing anything goofy? Yeah, you're doing the usual here. All right, let's see. What else do we got? I have other marbles that I might try. Light green marble. If we try the light green marble, maybe not that. Maybe that. What kind of options do I get with this? So what I really want is something that lets me adjust these colors. And I'm just not quite getting that. Marble paint. Light green marble have a just seems to have the one color, right? Yeah, that's not quite doing it. Is this the one that I was using before? See, this works. I like this. This has got vein colors. So I can grab like this darkness from the turquoise over here. That went horribly weird. Then I can take the vein random color. So we're still doing vein colors here. Just kind of grab that. And stain color, is that the main color? That didn't seem to do anything. So I don't think you're going to work for me. I want something where I can easily change out the vein color. Oh, marble color, that's what I'm looking for. Doy. There we go. And then maybe we could tweak the veins around a little bit. Tweak the scale maybe. I don't know. That's not quite working for me. The thickness isn't really making them that thick. Hopefully we're not running too slow. Yeah, that's not speaking to me. I'm going to try something else. Take a look at. I'm going to try to just download some of these. Oh, I had you already downloaded. Dang it. See what options I get with this one. And what have I got running in the background? Still have Marvelous Designer on in the background. It's all right. We're good with this, so I'll shut that down. Okay, that has applied. Let's see what options I get. I don't get color options in here. I already looked at that. Um, maybe let's try this one. Do I get color options with that? Nope, that would be asking too much. I have no idea where you're getting your color from. Let's try that. Marble color. Is that all I get? Just the option for marble color? Looks like it. What are you? Sooner or later, I'll accidentally find something that works. That's got, those are like little squarey things, aren't they? That's not what I'm looking for. And I've got way too many marbles in here that I don't need. That's probably slowing things down. So I get color options with that? Of course not. Don't be crazy, man. Why would you need extra color options? I got 3 minutes before I'm going to call it a day. Let's see if I can get this turquoise set up. You know, if I could just get one of these where I can control the colors better, and it just looked nicer. That a little optimistic. This is kind of like what I was working with before, though, wasn't it? I might be able to use this. Now let's just see if we can make that pattern look a little better. Maybe not that way. Nope, I didn't like that. That was a mistake. I might just go with this, may be in the ballpark. I don't know. We'll try maybe a little darker on that. Probably just going to live with that for lack of a... And I might touch it up in Photoshop. Okay, I'm going to call that good for now. Let's get this thrown onto the hat and call it a day. Let's save you. File, save as. And then we're going to look for somebody to raid. Over on the Twitch. And then we'll say bye to YouTube. Or we'll say bye to YouTube, then we'll raid out on Twitch. Actually, that's the way we do it here. Ale, Western dress, whip, substance, cowboy hat, flare. Can Cinema 4D be brought into DAS? I mean, as much as you can with Blender, I imagine. I don't know. Is there a... I don't know if there's a Go Cinema 4D feature. I don't think so. Someone declared taco time. Where? At your place? Time for tacos. Oh, that's Atherin. Ooh, tacos. I don't have tacos. Wah. Control Shift E. Control Shift E. Export. I'm going to do these smaller. We're going to do these really small. 1K. Probably good. Let me do my 5-channel preset. Export that. Oh, you found a 4. You probably need Cinema 4D to open that up. What I'm going to think. And then you could export out. That's probably what you have to do. So if you don't have Cinema 4D, probably can't use that model. Unless there's a converter you can figure out online somewhere or something. I don't know. Open output directory. Still got garbage in here I got to get rid of. There's our cowboy hat flare. Control X those. Hop over to... Where did my DAS go? There's my DAS. Right in here. I'm going to hide that. Oops. Bring that back. Hide that. We're going to select this. Nope. I'm going to come over here. Select all of these. I'm going to figure out where I'm saving this stuff. You are... over in here somewhere. I went the wrong way. Did I not set up a... There we go. Runtime, textures, cowboy hat. I'm just going to put the flare right here. Then we'll just drag and drop all of this stuff onto here. That goes there. That goes there. That goes there. That can come over here. And that's metallicity again. Where's my height map? Height map there. I probably don't need a height map for this, honestly. Did those not? The base color didn't drop in. The most important map. There we go. I'm just gonna... And we'll thank you all for being here. That's going to be it for today. We will be back tonight, 8 p.m. for the Saturday Night Social. It's an art share. It's a Discord chat. It's an old cartoon. Feel free to join the Discord. Drop stuff in the gallery. Remember, keep it Twitch safe, kids. So there is that. So next stream tonight, 8 p.m. Saturday Night Social. After that, we will be back Monday for more 3D stuff. And let's do this. Let's get ready to raid. Here's a raid call. I gotta find somebody raid still. If you're not a subscriber and you can join the Twitch raid, feel free to copy that. If you are a subscriber, you can use the sub raid call. And let me see who's on Twitch, and we'll go over and say hi to somebody. Bum. Uh, I heard a weird noise. Who did I put that weird noise with? Oh, that's my phone. I recently changed the sound on my phone, and I couldn't, and I just remembered that was. I'll eventually get used to that. I'm looking for somebody to raid on Twitch. That's what we're doing. I'm happy. I'm happy-ish with how that's coming. Here, let's hit the render on that. We can see how if the turquoise. I might tweak the turquoise with Photoshop a bit. And you know what? I think I have to probably pull that out a little bit. Doesn't clip into the hat band. But we're getting close. I think that'll look good. My lights are blowing this out too. I don't know. That turquoise looks okay. I might try to tweak the materials a little bit. Anyhow, is Toilet on? Or I'm sorry, Taddy. Is Taddy on? Or I'm going down bottom of my thing, and I'm going to look up. From our friend Wookie is on. That's our good friend DJ Stulu. Sally Quinn Creations. You know what? Let's go over and say hi to Sally Quinn Creations. She does body art, and gaming. I think she's probably just getting started. She's been on for 10 minutes. So anyhow, let's go over and say hi to her today. This is a good day for that. There's a subreddit call right above. Grab that. Thank you all for being here. Let's do this. We're going to go say hi to Sally Quinn Creations. She says just chatting, so I'm not sure exactly what she's up to today. Maybe it is just chatting. We'll see. Anyhow, thank you all. Let's do this. /raid. I'm going to copy and paste that. Grab your raid calls. If you can join the raid, that would be super cool. Control V. There we go. The raid has started. I'm over here where I can see my raid starting. Yay! I'm going to copy my raid call. And remember, kids, we will be back tonight, 8 p.m. for the Saturday Night Social. Feel free to join. Feel free to join the Discord. Share your art if you'd like. And thank you all for being here. If I don't see you tonight, I hope you have a good rest of a Saturday or Sunday. And hasta la vista, baby.